And I want you to think back, imagine if you were you've got a management team sitting here, and you've got the board that's out here, and you've got reporters, and the management team is getting ready to have a conversation along the lines of, this is why we're selling, this is why we're taking this piece of our business and moving it over here, and this is why it's the right thing for our company. In that conversation, people are kind of mumbling in the background, kind of figuring out why is this happening, going through, and so the CEO makes the pitch and goes through, and the CEO finishes by having a conversation that said, it's really unnerving for us, it's not where we wanted to be, we did everything right, we did nothing wrong. We did everything right, we did nothing wrong. Now, many of you guys may have picked this up on LinkedIn or seen different pieces, but this is a visual of one person sitting up there, kind of leaning down. This is Nokia. In 2005, Nokia was the #1 brand in cell phones. I happened to be in Hong Kong back in 1998 and had my Nokia, and man, you could throw it off a building, and that thing was just amazing. #1 share. By 2008, these little smartphone things came in. Most of the people in this room were rolling their eyes saying, I'll never give up my BlackBerry. That's exactly what Nokia said. You'll never. It's a toy. They did nothing wrong. But they still ended up in a rough situation. That's the thought starter for our conversation today. I'll tell you a little bit about my story, and primarily how the Internet of Things impacted my life and it's going to impact you. We started out Field Agent. We were a boutique research firm back from 2001 to about 2008, 2009. And we were sitting around the table with really, really smart qualitative and quantitative, researchers. We had a PhD guy sitting there, and we were talking through things. And we were really trying to figure out how we could do a better job, more efficiently, of doing shop-alongs across the nation, because we're flying people everywhere. I mean, we're just flying. It seemed like everyone's upset. No one's happy, right? Flying everywhere. So there's got to be a way. So we pulled out our really cool iPhone 3Ss. Now, this is pre-selfie. There was a world pre-selfie. And we thought, wow, I wonder if anyone's using technology to allow us to capture information in homes or stores. You Google it here, not on your computer. It's much cooler to do this. No one was doing that. And again, this is around January 2009. The 3S had just come out. The 3S, if you recall, you're a technology person, it was the first iPhone that allowed video that you didn't have to hack the phone. Really, really good. Didn't have a front-facing camera yet, but video was there. We said, surely to goodness, we could put these phones in someone's hand and let them capture video. And someone said, well, why would you send it? People already have this in their hands. How can you kind of crowdsource or capture people? We started working down this path for about 6 months, and every 2 months we sit around the same table, ask the same question, is anyone doing this? And we thought, gosh, if we don't do this, we're going to be like the people that said, I invented Google but decided not to do it. We didn't want to be those people. And so we launched this little thing called Field Agent. The first app that will allow you to actually geolocate people and geolocate data and bring it back in and QC it on the other end. And we took our boutique business, rolled it into technology, so we found a problem, created a solution. That solution was technology, and we turned our little boutique research firm into a mobile research entity. And that was back in the day before everyone here had an iPhone. At best, you had two. You had a BlackBerry beside of your iPhone. So with that as the beginning part of this thought process, let's talk about the future for us, specifically with the Internet of Things. Who recalls this? Who knows what this is? This is how many people here have purchased one of these? Any owners? How many people have worn them before? Okay, you had it on before, so what was the experience like?
Interesting.
Interesting. Like that's exactly the type of person you want to have in a focus group. Interesting. It's interesting. That's it. But think about a couple of issues with this. Remember, at that time, if you were in the research business, we all were. So, wow, everyone across the world are going to be wearing these glasses. Can you imagine all the data we're going to get from these glasses? Because they're going to be walking around, and we're going to see everything they see, and we're going to record this. But there are a couple of small issues with that. One, battery was pretty brutal. Number two, facial recognition got really, really good, and I'm telling you, it got a little creepy because I could walk in, and I'm looking at the two of you guys, and then my glasses are popping out, and I see Facebook and Instagram. I know if you're single or not. It got kind of creepy. San Francisco said, ban it. You can't have it in the restaurants and bars. All kinds of issues happen. But as researchers, if you think back a few years ago, that was an interesting topic of conversation. You had to at least be able to answer, hey, are you going to get into this space, or are you not going to get into this space? How are you going to use this? What are you going to do? Because everyone talked about it. Today, it's this little thing. Okay? Oculus Rift. How many folks have tried this? All right? I personally could not walk off the plank. I couldn't do it. Walk the plank, did this little thing, got nervous to jump, couldn't jump. Ridiculous, right? From a research standpoint, you have to be able to answer the question as a qualitative researcher, are you going to participate in this? Are you not? Do you have an opinion? You better. Because it isn't like, that's not the point. The point I'm making to you is this, is that the Internet of Things, this thing called Oculus Rift, which, oh, by the way, you can get a cardboard cutout, put it on your phone, and you can actually review things. It's amazing the amount of stores, the different things you can see today, so it doesn't cost tens of thousands of dollars. You guys have to at least have an opinion. And you've got to decide, is it something I'm going to take on, or is it not something I'm going to take on? But what if your number one client, and it's the client it's that 20, 30, 40, 50% of your business says, yeah, but we really want to do a project using this, I guess I'm going to use you now. You need to have an opinion. What about this? How many people here have an Apple Watch? It's not embarrassing, just raise your hand. Yes, it's great. Do you love it? Do you like it? Why do you love it? Why do you like it? Right. Yeah, did you notice how I said, why do you love it, why do you like it? That means I'm not a researcher, and that would be the point where my wife says, that's why we don't let you go to focus groups. All right, but it keeps you connected and going through. But remember when the watch came out, have you ever shared your heartbeat with anyone? Huh? Remember how cool that was? Because the watch was on, and you could hit a little button, and you could share your heartbeat. If you read in the fine print, for those of you who have done any type of medical research, any type of clinical work, you notice they left a couple of things out on purpose. They didn't want to get into blood pressure. Why? There's some HIPAA things. They simply didn't want to have the responsibility of knowing who had hypertension. But you know, sitting in the research world, wouldn't it be great to have that, and then you see hypertension, you see blood pressure, you notice the pulse rate goes up, all of a sudden you capture perspiration. I'm not saying you need to change all of your methodology, I'm just telling you, you have to have an opinion because it's not that far-fetched that you're going to see this. Wearable technology of the watch is here today. I'm telling you that there's the technology today to make this happen so that you are capturing these things so you can really begin to understand someone's mood swing and what they're really thinking. Even though they're saying one thing, you can really start to read everything about their person and what they're saying. I'm not saying you have to do it. You have to have an opinion. What about this? How many folks here recognize this? Anyone? This is Ross, this is
It's your iOS for the car.
It's a car. So how many people here have their phone that connects to their car with Bluetooth? Okay? Not a weird thing, is it? It's not. You don't stress out about it at all. You're okay with that? So as qualitative researchers, what's important to everyone here is that now that I've got this set up in someone's car, it's important to know, it says, hey, how are you feeling today? Hey, I noticed, Kayleen, when you were coming in, you were a few minutes late. How did you feel about traffic today? And what did you think? You guys are good with your car talking to someone like that, right? You would be okay with your car talking to you, yes? As qualitative researchers, you now have access to people like you've never had it before. And again, every example I'm giving you is not far-fetched because that's the reality that you guys are in. I'm telling you, you're in this reality. To the point that all of these pieces that are described are all linked in some way to a little thing called a mobile device. Okay? So that mobile device is there and it's capturing it. So the question becomes, how do we create methodologies around that? Because then it gets a little bit weird. Hey, you're driving the car, and I noticed based on data that I've scraped that you always go to Subway on Tuesdays, It's now Tuesday, you haven't gone to Subway. Ping, your car says, hey, how would you like to have $1 off to go to Subway? Awkward? Maybe. I noticed based on your watch that you haven't eaten in a while. You must be hungry. Are you okay with that? You guys wouldn't turn any of those notifications off, right? You'd be okay with that, capturing in? That's a question you guys have to answer because it's right in front of us. Now, this is a great concept. Okay, don't roll your eyes. Don't roll your eyes. Because if you work in this industry, they would tell you this is about 2 or 3 years out. And that's not that there's going to be a Mac on it, but the smart washing machine is 2 or 3 years out. Now, washing machines take 10 years to tear up, not 15, takes 10, right? So, as a qualitative researcher says, gosh, I don't have to go into people's homes because I get access. I have tremendous access. You could be hired by a company to say, listen, I've got all this amazing access inside of someone's home. I've got the thermostat thing going. I've got security happening over here. I've got to understand the washing machine. And man, I've got this refrigerator that is completely hooked up, locked and loaded. Ask yourself this question after watching this clip. If you are a qualitative researcher working for Samsung, how could you help them? So let's watch this clip.
Hey folks, Billy from Engadget here at the Samsung booth, CES 2016. We're here with Samsung's new smart fridge. The first thing you notice about it is the large touch panel in the door. That's good for a lot of things. You can set reminders for the food that you have in your fridge. So if you got something there that's 3 days old, you just drag it down and label it just like that. There's cameras inside here that automatically detect what's inside the fridge. So if you're running low on things like milk or eggs, you get a reminder to go shopping, which you can also do from the door of the fridge. There's a service, grocery service, where you can select the items that you need, and then when you're all done, pay for them with your credit card. You can get recipes as well. So in a lot of ways, this display on the refrigerator will replace the need for you to have a tablet or some other mobile device on the counter that you might splash some sauce or something else on while you're cooking. And in the morning when you're having breakfast, you can see what the weather is and what your agenda is for the day. So in terms of entertainment, you can mirror your TV to this display. You can also play music from services like Pandora. And this is the first Samsung refrigerator that's fully integrated with smart home devices. So as you can see, this refrigerator is packed with technology, from cameras to a large touch screen, and it's all connected to the internet. And when we get our hands on one, we'll be able to tell if it really improves our lives.
Now here's the fast part, right? The quant person says, don't worry about it. I'll just let everyone know if you switch brands of yogurt. I'll just tell everyone. And then they come to you and say, listen, what I want you to do is, I want a random sample, and I want you to reach out to the person while they're standing in front of the fridge and ask them why they changed yogurt. You kind of chuckled. Someone's going to have to do this. It can't all be this quant, oh, they changed yogurt. How many people shop? Why did you change from Amazon to this? Why did you buy this? Why did you bring it differently? Why did you let this stuff spoil? The Internet of Things around us today is going to require all of us to begin looking at methodologies and understanding how we're going to handle products. And for any of you guys who work on products today, you're going to have to figure this out. Because if not, it's just going to be one big quant world. We just captured the data, they switched 3 times yogurt. I don't know why, it must have been a coupon. No one's really going to know, right? You're going to have to figure that out. Now, this is the future. What about things that are happening in front of us today? Anyone have any dash buttons? Who uses these? Anyone? Anyone know, you guys know what these things are? Come on, this is what I'm going to minister to you right now. So, in the interim time, until you get the camera inside of your fridge to help you reorder, you can take, let's say, the Tide button, and you use Tide. You put the little button beside of your laundry detergent. When you run out, you hit the button. If you're in New York, a drone delivers Tide. Okay? If not, the next day, Amazon delivers Tide. So literally, there are homes that have these buttons. We've done research that shows people have the Charmin button beside of the toilet. And when toilet paper runs out, they hit the button. This is the precursor to the Internet of Things inside of your home, because you won't need a button, because you're going to pour the Tide into the laundry machine, and when it's out, it's going to order for you. You're not going to have to shop for it. The buttons are everywhere. I'm telling you, they're all over the place, right? As researchers, how are you going to engage? What are you going to do with this? You're not going to do anything with it all? Listen, just look at the clicks. Let it be quant. Who cares? Think about the access you're going to lose. Play it all a bit further. The reason this is important for us is because people freely engage with tech all the time, right? We've been trained. We started out years ago with Facebook and this little thing called Pinterest and this thing called Twitter. What about the nice little smiley face in the middle? What's the little ghosty thing? Who knows what that is? Snapchat? Okay, you knew what that was, not the dash, okay? Listen, that is a father's worst nightmare. I can remember my then 13-year-old, Dad, the pictures go away. They go away, Dad. Don't worry about this stuff. Okay, maybe. What about this little thing on the right-hand side? Who knows what the little eyeball, the little drop is on the right-hand side? What's that? Periscope. Have you ever used Periscope? What is Periscope? Give us a... You can broadcast live.
And people can comment and
Live feed coming through. So Vine was a little 20-second, hey, let's do a quick video. But Periscope came in and said, listen, we could be sitting here today, someone in the back, and we could be live streaming this via Periscope. Now, I'll take you through this technology to say that the people that are using this stuff, we're at a point today where they don't care. They'll share anything. You know it. You guys have shared things you should have never shared, okay? But here's the thing you have to understand. For the Internet of Things and technology, I want you to understand of a new liability that you have, which is really, really important. Because when people share stupid things, and I'm working for Marriott as a researcher, if I don't ensure that stupid things don't get to Marriott, that's a problem. Here's stupid things. It was Periscope, and it just showed a couple of guys sitting around smoking a little pot, and it was kind of funny. That's just stupid, right? Oh, hey, it was just this little thing called Snapchat, and we did a really cool Snapchat thing for Marriott, and all of a sudden people were sharing body parts. Kind of funny, right? But how many folks here have a Facebook account? Facebook account? Let's see, I'm going to find someone. Let's see. Can I pick on you for a second? Because I had to pick on you. All right, so how old are you? So, have you had a Facebook account for a while? How old were you when you signed up? No, but you lied though, and you said you were older. So remember, you had to be 18 to be in Facebook, so all these 13, 14-year-olds lied. Now, have you gone back in and changed your age to represent your appropriate age? No, you didn't. No, because no one else did. Because again, everyone here, if you look at millennials today, they all lied. They all lied. And so all the data you've got coming in says, oh, look, here's a 33-year-old female. Here's a 45-year-old whatever. You know what? That's a lie. Because they signed up when they were 12 or 13, saying they were 18. 18 was stupid, so they said they were 21 because it was kind of cool. All that is going through, and you're now scraping it. The reason that's important, in the Internet of Things, if an 18-year-old sends you something stupid, that's stupid. What happens if a 15-year-old sends you something stupid? That's illegal. That's child pornography. So what happens in your world, the reason you have to have an opinion on this, is that you can't sit by the side and just let this technology come along. You've got to find providers that know what they're doing. You have to find providers that are going to ensure that their server is separated from yours and you only get the right data to Marriott or Capital One. It's really, really important because when that data goes across into their server, and then a couple of guys think it's kind of funny and they start sending pictures back and forth, people get in trouble. Wait a minute, we had this great loyal database, and now they hate us because we just infringed upon their personal lives because we're peeing them at home all the time because they have these fridges. You have to figure that out too. So it's really, really important because you are not going to have a hard time convincing people to respond to you based on talking TVs, talking fridges, talking washers and dryers. That's not going to be your issue. Your issue is going to be, how do I create methodology that makes sense, right? How do I create methodology that isn't so intense and in their face they have them check out? And when I get data on the back end, how do I ensure that I can protect my clients from just stupid people? Because they'll send anything that you can imagine. Really have to be cautious about that. So then, in our case, we took this concept of field agent, created a crowdsourcing platform, used mobile technology, really to create information along the lines of point of influence, along the path to purchase. Here are three key things for you. When you think about traditional quant work, it's that zero moment of truth, right? Amazon coined it and said, hey, there's all this shopping, all this stuff that happens prior to going into a store. We could even argue sometimes we're going to purchase before we get there. We've got a first moment of truth. It was kind of coined by P&G, which is, hey, you have to win at that shelf. Then you had Saatchi & Saatchi come along and said, yeah, but there's also a second moment of truth that's really about how you actually use products. You have traditional methodologies that you can go use this today all day long, right? If I ask you to do a shop along, you can do it. You can do a focus group. You can make that happen. The question becomes when your client says, yeah, but I heard about this company that's using that Oculus thing, and I totally love to use that technology so they don't have to go into stores. Are you guys ready to go do that? And you can't have a blank look on your face. You just can't. Or we're going to go over to person A or person B and use them. Now remember, I started out when Jim was here saying, billion-dollar brands have been launched with focus groups. This has nothing to do with methodology, has nothing to do with throwing things out. I'm just telling you that the Internet of Things is upon you. It's right in front of you. And there are all kinds of providers that can provide technology, and I'd be willing to wager most of them couldn't even spell methodology, really don't even care about methodology, because they're focused on shiny objects and technology. You guys are the voice of reason. When you hear the concept of Internet of Things, if you're working with Whirlpool right now or Samsung, and they're talking about all these things, you've got to be a voice of reason that says, okay, now how do we engage your consumers? Because you have unprecedented access into people's lives. You just do. You guys have to understand that. So with me coming through this, as we go through, I don't want any of you to be sitting here 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whether you're a small business of 2 or 3 and you're having that conversation with your business partner, whether you're in a large company and you're kind of looking at each other across the table. I don't want you to be sitting here 5, 10 years from now saying, gosh, we did nothing wrong. We did great work, but we're no longer relevant. We lost. Don't be there. Because the Internet of Things, not necessarily the washer and dryer showed you, but the Internet of Things is in front of you, and you have to have a position on that. You've got to figure it out. So thank you very much for your time.